I strive, but when the sun sets, I come alive. The world keeps running, but I stand still, obeying your command, Yahuwah's will. No working hands, no toilet ground, only peace and joy abound. A day of rest, a gift so true, Yahuwah, I delight in you. Shabbat shalom, a time of peace, a quarter sign I will not cease. I lay it down, I leave it all, and in your presence I stand tall. No buy and sell it, just pure delight in Yahuwah's rest from evening light. A day for worship, a time to be with family close and heart set free. I hear your voice in stillness deep. You call me close, my soul to keep. Your love surrounds, your spirit leads. You give me rest, you meet my needs. Set apart from worldly ways, I lift my voice in songs of praise. You're coming in forever stands. I trust, obey, and lift my hands. The work is done, the table set. Your Sabbath peace I won't forget. I breathe it in, I let it flow. A glimpse of what's to come, I know. Shabbat shalom, a time of peace, a quarter sign that will not cease. I lay it down, I leave it all, and in your presence I stand tall. From week to week, this truth remains, a day of joy and touched by chains. Oh Yahuwah, my King, my rest, in your Sabbath I am blessed. No buy and sell it, just pure delight in Yahuwah's rest from evening light. No buy and sell it, just pure delight in Yahuwah's rest for hearts set free. No buy and sell it, just pure delight in Yahuwah's rest for hearts set free. No buy and sell it, just pure delight in Yahuwah's rest for hearts set free. From week to week, this truth remains, a day of joy and touched by chains. Oh Yahuwah, my King, my rest, in your Sabbath I am blessed.
Shabbat shalom, beautiful family out there. My name is Jason.
I'm Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
And we are the Yahuwah and the Torah channel, and we can't thank you guys enough for being a part of this little itty bitty tiny family as we are kicking it here in the sticks. And it is always a pleasure. It is always amazing to see all of you around this little wooden table along with us in this ecclesia that we are having, where we are reading scriptures, where we are discussing scriptures, where we're reading the Torah commands, and where we are praising our Elohim. And I wanted to read a little cool thing to you that came to Nicole this morning. And I think it very much applies to all of us today. So let's start with this real quick. While everybody is partying, clubbing, getting high, whoring, trotting, doing everything abominable against Yahuwah, we want the kingdom. We that want the kingdom will be observing the Sabbath, a commandment that our people will not keep. And so I thought that was very much intriguing when it came down to it. And we are the people that are obeying the commandments. And we are the people that love these commandments. For those that have never been a part of this reading before, we welcome you just now and in the future to come. We are the family that believes that Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy are the foundational firm points of our life. They are the infrastructure of steel and hardened concrete that when you read those first 5 books and when you apply them to your life, you become qualified to have a Messiah. Now, if you are just looking for a Messiah, but you are not looking for the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, our Messiah Yahushua, says very much that he will reject you. He will say, "Depart from me, you who are Torah-less." So how do we become Torah full? How do we become full of the Torah? Well, we read it, we learn it, we observe it, we write it on our hearts, on our minds, on our souls, and it becomes a part of our life. It becomes everything that we depend upon. And when you look at the Torah as a guidepost for life, it becomes a living, breathing entity. It becomes something that is, it just becomes a part of you. It's something that you would not want to walk through your days without. It's something that if you did not have the Torah, you would very much be lost. And I don't believe that life is worth living if we did not have the Torah of our Creator. That is how much value I see in the Torah in of itself. And I would love to congratulate all of you guys for being commandment keepers, for being these people that love the laws, the statutes, and the commandments, and for being a part of the kingdom, the remnant. The remnant of our Creator is a very itty bitty tiny group of people. There's not a lot. When you look to your left, when you look to your right, there's just not a lot of people out there, right? Sometimes we can find a little kind of ecclesia. Sometimes there's people that are praising Yah. But for the most part, the rest of the world is shopping, enjoying this day, buying, selling, doing all sorts of stuff. And their day of worship is the day of the sun, Sunday. And they say that's the day of the Lord and that they can worship any day that they want to because Paul said, and because Paul said that they can do whatever they want. And we are the people that say, what does Yahuwah say? What does Yah's ways say? And Yah's ways say that we have a seventh-day Shabbat that we observe for all generations, for all people, all times. And it's the same with the laws, the statutes, and the commandments. And with that, Cade, will you please open us up in prayer?
Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. We thank you for blessing us and bringing us back together on this day. You have chosen, you have set apart, and you said, my people will follow this if they want me to dwell with them. And we are here asking you to dwell with us today, to put your Ruach upon us, to put your covering hands on those around you as we go out of the trials and tribulations of the previous week and we go into our rest. We ask that your Ruach HaKodesh is on us today. We dive into your word as we learn your Torah, as we learn the words of your Son, that we are able to understand it. We are able to understand the correct context that you had intended it for the people, that there is no confusion. We thank you for all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Okay, and so we are going to have the very first thing that we have every Shabbat, and this is called the Shema. Now in Hebrew, Shema means to hear and obey. And for anybody who has come out of organized religions, and we were Baptists, we were a Baptist denomination for all my childhood life, all the way up to in the 30s, we were a Baptist group of people, and we were good Christians, and we were once saved, always saved. We went to the Sunday church, and we did the Sunday events, and we went out afterwards, and we bought and we sold, and we had no moral compass. And the problem is, we didn't know that we had a moral compass because all of the little people, the lying scribes and the lying people that were up in these little pulpits were telling us that the laws have been nailed to the cross, that you are a hypocrite and a heretic if you want to keep these old laws of our Creator. And when you actually go and start reading the scriptures, it becomes very clear that our identity is actually Yisrael. That when it says here in this Shema, hear, O Yisrael, this is all of us. This is you, me, your families. Anybody that wants to be a citizen of the kingdom to come, anybody that wants to fall into what they call the covenant path, anybody that wants to be a part of the actual remnant, this is us. And so, Jade, hear, O Yisrael.
Hear, O Yisrael, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah is one. And you shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, with all your being, and with all your might. And these words that I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children. And you shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be fronts between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
All right, and that's the speed reading roll of this. Now I'm going to take this down a little bit so it's not so quick. Now, if you guys think back to all of our indoctrination inside of, unfortunately, the cult of these religious groups, and I call them a cult because people always call our little Torah keeping group a cult. They're like, oh, you're in a cult. Oh, you want to keep the commandments of your creator. But yet at the same time, they're keeping the commandments of the second in command, which is Hasatan. They have no commands. They have no moral compass. They have none of this. When you nail the laws of our Creator to the cross, you are absolutely not writing them on your heart. You're not impressing them on your children. You are not speaking of them when you sit in your house. You're definitely not talking when you walk by the way and when you lie down and when you rise up. How would you ever bind them as frontlets between your eyes and a sign on your hand when you have literally nailed the greatest things that we have been given to a stake? It makes no sense at all. But when you look at the rebel Hasatan, when you look at the devil and his works and what the devil is, this is exactly what the words of the devil are. The devil does not care about the laws of our Creator. He never has. In fact, he knows the Scriptures better than probably any of us ever would. He knows exactly what his future holds, and he's looking to gain all of the soldiers of the great Satan all the time. And so, guys, we have been called as a set-apart people, a people that are observing days like today. There's also appointed times that all of us will keep. There's also these beautiful commandments that we are just about to go over. Now, these beautiful commandments in the day and age that we are in, there's about 158 or so commands that we can keep today. And you could expand that out if you go into the hygiene laws and if you go into the dietary laws and things of that sort. You can add to them, but for the most part, when we break them down, there's only 158. Now, when you look at the United States of America, there's over 4 or 5 million federal laws that every single one of us as U.S. citizens fall under every single day. When you have the United States government that wants to come indict you, they can roll you up with about 15 different felonies that you didn't even know existed by simply stepping out your door every single day. Now think about laws like jaywalking. Think about all the crazy stuff that our governments have put under us and all these crazy things, and we only have 158 or so commands that are beautiful commands that revolve around our families, our friends, our businesses, our dietary lifestyle, our spiritual lifestyle. All of these commands today are so simple. But yet, what does this satanic religious system tell you? Oh, that's bondage. Oh no, that's like a ball and chain. You don't want to fall under those laws and go back to that Mosaic law. But yet those of us who are under the Mosaic law, those of us who love it, and it's not Moses' law. It is the laws of our Creator that have been handed down to our brother man, Moshe, that has been given to us. And so it is the laws of our Creator. But when you don't read Scriptures, then you're going to fall under this ignorance. And I don't find anywhere in Scriptures that you have a shot with ignorance. There will be sins that we probably won't be judged for as much because of ignorance, probably appointed times, probably calendar things that all of us, there's all these different appointed times that sometimes we just don't know exactly what we should be doing on some of these appointed times. And so there's going to be some of these, but you know what? We're trying. And that's what the rest of the world, they're not trying. They don't even care. And so with that, Mr. Cole, will you please give a shout out to all of our brothers, our sisters, our friends, our family, our loved ones, the remnant, everybody who we love. Hit them.
Are you done?
I'm done.
All right. So we have Sue Smith, Yeshayahu, Sarah and William. Yehoshua in Hebrew means salvation. Yah Scriptures, which is Chris. Gina, Jerry and Dolly. Crystal, Candy and Ruby. The Judge, Jeremy and Callan. Anna Lee. Yahuwah, remove our stony hearts. Brandy and family. Exposed, welcome to you, a new name. Learning the Way, Genie Not of This World. Sylvia, Danny, Josh Rhodes, Amaya, Mama CA, Honeymoon Stitch, Brian, and I think that's everybody. If I missed anybody, I apologize.
Yeah, and Exposed says the rest of the world is on the broad path, and that is absolutely true. And we know, we know from scriptures, and it's not like something that we have to pull out of the prophets. We don't even have to pull this out of the Torah. We can pull this out of books that supposedly the religious system is supposed to be reading, right? Matthew is just an incredible book when it comes down to just some basics. And this is the stuff that comes out of the words of our Messiah. If you are supposed to be a Christian, you're supposed to be a follower of your Mashiach. The problem is everybody goes, well, he must be flying this rebel flag. He must have started a new religion. He must have said, I want you guys to all be Christians. When in fact, we have never ever been called to be Christians. We never were called to a different religion other than being the children of Yisrael. Now, how do we become the children of Yisrael? Well, we're just about to go over this right here into these laws, statutes, and commands. And Ms. Nicole, if you will please paste the 2 links for this in. Guys, what you're looking at right here is you are looking at the Yah Scriptures, the big blue book digital version. Right here, it's absolutely free of charge. There is a total of 2 languages right now. Another couple of languages will be coming out very, very shortly. And in this free download for Apple, for Android, this second little blue bar right here under blog, it says Torah commands. This is what we are reading through right here. And if this is all that we had instead of, the rest of scriptures to correspond with this, this is something that we could absolutely dial our lives in with. Now, this list didn't exist out in the internet before Boss Clan put it together. When we first started, I don't know how many years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, trying to figure out what the laws of our Creator are, and all we had was Judaism. And Judaism's like, there's 619 laws or something of the sort. And when you look at their laws, they're combining things like the Talmud and the Kabbalah and the Zohar, along with reiterating commands over and over and over. So when you actually get down to the commandments that we can keep today, it's very, very short. Now, the Christians have all been programmed to go, do you guys sacrifice to animals too? And you're just like, all you can do is really roll your eyes and go, well, no, we wouldn't be sacrificing animals because we're not Levites, right? Have you never read the story of strange fire? Do you not realize a simple little mistake in the temple can leave you burned to a corpse? That is a problem. So because we do not have a Levitical priesthood, no, we would not have a temple. We would not have a group of people that were sacrificing animals. And the thing of this was, for people that don't understand scriptures, is we have the Levites as an intercessory between us and the Most High. Now, we have a Messiah. And when Messiah came and he tore that temple veil from the top to the bottom down, it represented that he has become our priest. He has become our Melchizedek priest. Now, this doesn't mean that we're supposed to pray to our Messiah, because there's nowhere in scriptures that it says that, right? Our Messiah even very clearly tells us how to pray. So for those who tell you, like, with that scoffing laugh, that do you sacrifice animals too? Well, we don't need to, because we have a Messiah, and that Messiah is there for us through a lot of this stuff. So these are the commands, the statutes, and the precepts that our Creator has given to us that we are to keep for all generations, all times, and all peoples. Commandment number 1 is be fruitful.
Number 2, multiply, replenish the earth.
Subdue it, have dominion over the fish, fowl, and every living creature.
The herb bearing and every tree is for food.
Man and woman should build their own families.
Master sin. Very, two words, right? But yet in these 2 words, this is essentially our entire life's goal, right? Every single day we fall short of the Torah. There's many things in our thoughts and our deeds and our actions that we can clean up every single day. The Torah walk is not something where you become perfect. The Torah walk is not something where you just become, an exemplary artifact of something of greatness. It is a work that every single one of us, every single day, need to master. And it's something that when we know the Torah, learn the Torah, write this on our hearts, minds, and souls, we have the ability to complete this very two-worded commandment, which is a huge one. Because, you know, in the world of religious systems, right, think of Catholicism. They don't have to master sin. All they got to do is go before the little priest, the little pedophile priest that's sitting in the little box. It'll tell you to do 7 Hail Marys after you go molest a little child, right? They have no way of mastering sin when it's all man-induced. That's just one religion. You give me all these other 400,000 religions, I will show you holes in all of them. That this is where the remnant, we have to come back to these commandments. We have to come back to these precepts and work these in our life to have the ability to master sin. Every cling, moving thing that lives shall be food for you.
Do not eat the blood. Walk before me and be perfect.
Guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments, guys. Reiterated more times than any other commandment. There's nothing out there that even comes close to this. We have a page and a half of this. And as we are exiting the book of Numbers throughout our Torah reading scriptures on Shabbat, we're going to get into where Deuteronomy reiterates this all the time. And Deuteronomy is a beautiful book. It is one of the, it's a summary. It's a summary of all the first 4 books, all wrapped up into a nice little package. And in it, we're told over and over and over. Now, if the laws are truly nailed to the stake, how can this be that our Creator has told us over and over and over that we have to guard these? It makes no sense at all. Either man is lying or scriptures are lying, and I have yet to ever find a lie inside of scriptures. So I'm going to have to fall on the man. Some man with the traditions of men are lying. Every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old.
Keep your children commands and guard the way of Yahuwah. Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations.
Keep the Passover, Pesach.
Keep the feast of unleavened bread, the festival of Matzah. There is one Torah for the stranger and the Hebrew.
Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah.
There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah.
You should not make graven images.
Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught. And right here, this is a huge commandment that everybody, people that read out of the King James Bible are breaking this commandment, right? Those who call, Yahuwah God. God is a surtitle, right? There's in the world of so-called gods, lowercase g's or uppercase g's, however you want to do it, it's merely a title. Now, our God's name is Yahuwah. When we have taken this out over 7,000 times in scriptures alone, then we've taken the beautiful name of Yahushua, the Son of the Most High, and we call him Jesus. We call him a pagan name. It's just insane that we have come to this time in this world where everybody has, we love God. We love God with all our heart, mind, and soul. But do you love his commandments? Oh no, we hate those. Those are on the tree. Those are bondage. Those wouldn't be that. So right out of the gate, people are lying, and people are absolutely bringing Yahuwah's name to naught, which is why you want a version of scriptures that has, the closest we can get is Paleo Hebrew, right? Because this is on the 10 Devarim, on the 10 Commandments. We know that this was signed in the name of our Creator, Yahuwah, Yad-Heh-Wav-Heh. And so it's very important that we do this. And it's not, even in Judaism, right? They have like they say Hashem, and they'll like go like, they like a little cough sound or something of the sort. And they're like, yeah, we can't say this. It's disrespectful. But yet we have Torah commands that say, don't bring his name to naught. So how would calling him Hashem or calling him the cough sound that they have, how can that be respectful? Continuing on to the commandment we are all keeping today, which is keeping the Shabbat. And again, compared to the rest of the commands, there's a lot of reiterations of this, guys. Very important command. It was made for mankind and not man for the Shabbat.
Honor your parents.
Do not kill.
Do not break wedlock.
Do not steal. Do not make false accusations against your neighbor.
Do not covet anything of your neighbor's.
Do not make an altar from rock that tool has touched.
Do not go up the altar by the steps. If a man steals cattle, he shall store it 5 times.
Speak up, oh sick one. Yahuwah's Torah, laws for criminals.
Do not lie with beasts.
No sacrifice to other Elohim. Do not oppress a stranger, fatherless, or widow.
Do not charge your brother interest.
If you borrow your raiment, return it him before sunset.
Do not curse the ruler of your people. Do not eat what is torn of any beast.
No false report.
Do not follow the multitude of evil.
Do not judge unrighteously against the poor. Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray.
Help the animals of your enemy.
Stay away from rumors and gossipers. Take no bribes.
Do not oppress a stranger. Love the stranger.
Give your land rest in the 7th year.
Do not mention any pagan names.
Keep the feast of Yahuwah. Do not cook your goat in his mother's milk.
Obey the messenger, Yahuwah, sends before you.
Do not bow down to other Elohim.
Serve Yahuwah. Make no covenant with other Elohim or outsiders of the land.
Do not make or use anointing oil on an old person. Do not make or use perfume on an old person.
Do not eat the fat. Very important, right? It's a simple enough command. All of us, not all of us, I know there's a lot of vegetarians, a lot of vegan folks out there, and you don't eat meat at all, and I commend you all for that. Those are all great diets and various things, but for those who do eat the steaks, don't eat the fat, right? Why do we have a commandment like this? Well, you know, in Leviticus, we are told that our Creator loves the smell of this burning fat, that somehow that, you know, he is sitting somewhere within a locale area that he can actually smell the sweet savoring of this fat. Now, when you eat fat that is not actually food, you just get fatter. It's not something that you should be eating. It's not something that is healthy, and it is like one of these things that the people that cannot stop eating pig, when you look at pig, the majority of the pig is fat. It is just disgusting stuff. And the pig, you know, when it comes to this do not eat the fat, it goes around the same thing. My dear mature mother, she loves the fat. I've talked about this before. It's the most disgusting thing ever. I've told her about this. Every single Friday, I try to minister to her. I begged her again this week to let's talk about these laws, statutes, and commandments. She says she ain't never gonna do it. She will pile that fat up from her plate, from my stepdad's plate, and she'll wait to the very end and eat that like a dessert. It is the most foul thing ever. And I remember her doing that as a kid. None of us do these commands. None of us knew this stuff. Now, is it because we're not supposed to have some tasty, great treat? No, because then it would say something like, don't eat ice cream, right? Don't eat chocolate, don't eat this, which is not good for us, right? None of us will all get insulin resistance, we'll all end up dying. But it's not that our Creator doesn't want us to have good things. It's that this stuff isn't healthy for our temples. Now, if we are to be children of the Most High, and our temples are the bodies of the Most High, and our Creator exists in us with the Ruach HaKodesh, then we need to be as healthy and as strong and as prosperous of health as we possibly can. And when we are sitting there eating things like fat, it's probably you're not going to look like a good, healthy person. And so that's why we are told certain things in Torah, and it's not for our lack of pleasure. It is because our Creator doesn't want us to get sick. It's not meant to be eaten, guys. Fat is not it. Continuing on. Do you have something? Yeah.
Is beef tallow that people cook with considered the fat?
I don't know.
I think it is.
Is it?
Because it's rendered from fat. So
Okay.
I think it is.
Yeah, and so Miss Nicole is the cook. She's the chef in this house, and so yeah, I think it is. And you know, they used to have. That's the thing is they went from things like tallow and from other things, and then they everything's now made of like deadly seed oils, all this horrible stuff. Like if you look at the diet of the world, most importantly the diet of the United States, it is very, very bad. You know, when you eat just simply like a bag of Doritos, those guys, those Satanists over at the Doritos company, when they engineered the bag of Doritos, they had people hooked up into the rooms with all these brain sensors on there, and they were working this recipe to where every single bite of that chip hits your dopamines to a certain level to where you can't put down these chips. And when you get done with it, the bag of Doritos, even though it says 0 sugars in there, there's over a cup of sugar from the complex carbohydrates of the processed food. Guys, so getting us back to keeping our temples right and keeping our stuff, guys, it all comes down to what we are eating. And it's one of these things that we actually have to unprogram ourselves from, because we're dying one bite at a time. These Skittles and M&Ms and all of these things with all these bad dyes and all this stuff, they are not going to keep us alive. And in this day and age, that's what the powers that be want to see. They want to see us all in the grave. They want to take over the resources. And so, guys, things like not eating the fat, eating clean food, it all comes down to trying to stay alive when they're really trying to get rid of all of us. Continuing on, do what you say you are going to do.
Return what is your neighbor's.
Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws.
Women's time of separation.
Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws.
Keep the Day of Atonement, Yom HaKippurim.
Do not uncover the nakedness of your family.
Do not take your woman's sister for wife.
Do not lie with a woman in her uncleanness.
You shall not sacrifice your children to Moloch.
Do not be a sodomite.
You know, going back to the sacrificing your children to Molech, it's one of these things, like, it went from the basics of them lining up and putting a little baby in the hands of a little idol and dropping it into the fire, to an abortion clinic on every single block of every single town of every single city of every single state worldwide. And you look at Israel and to modern day Israel, right? And we talked about it last week, but modern day Israel is a construct of the Lord. And we're not talking our Adonai, we're talking Lord Rothschild. And it was Lord Rothschild that put together the UN that actually created a state of this. And you can simply say abortion clinics in Israel and Google, and it will show you maps of 15, 20 of these places. And it even says one that's open till 11 o'clock at night. Stop in. It's like a drive-through, right? So when you're looking at sacrificing your children to Moloch, it is like on an industrial level. And it's not just about murdering a child. It's about that they will take all of the murdered pieces of this child and it will be sold into every industry, right? Placentas and ovaries and all of the baby pieces and the fetal pieces, the eyeballs and the brains and the heart and the liver, all of this stuff. The fresher they get it, when you look at the different vaccines that are all out there, all of them were made from the byproducts of these babies. They were tested on them. And it's one of these things that, you know, I shouldn't have to be explaining this to people. And I know a lot of us have made a lot of mistakes in this world. I know there's a lot of people out there that have gone down this abortion path. But the thing about life is we are told to multiply. We are told to replenish the earth. And that goes with our children. That goes with bringing them in. Even if you think it's a headache, even if your life is going to be changed, even if you think it's the worst thing that's ever happened, I will tell you as a parent that the greatest blessings, the greatest baraka that I ever had was actually being able to raise my own children. I love my children. We get into it. It's like it's one of these, it's a challenge, right? It is one of these things that I would have rather been challenged with these struggles of raising young lions like myself than never ever having this kind of blessings in my life. And it is something that I thank Yah for every single day that I have my boys. And we struggle, just like all the families out there, we struggle. It's not easy. You know, my young lions are a lot like me when I was a kid. And, you know, you have to be, got to have your chair and the whip, right? You got to be a lion tamer when you're raising children. But the greatest part of being able to raise these kids, and the only reason that I believe they're even containable, is because we got them into Torah early enough that they have fallen in love with Yah and know his laws, statutes, and commandments. So continuing on, do not be a sodomite.
Be holy. Do not reap the corn of your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard. Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor.
Do not lie or be a liar.
Pay your pay your workers for the day's wage they are due.
Do not harm the disabled.
Let's look at this, right? Do not harm the disabled. I love little commands like this, right? When you're dealing with the Christian religion, when you're dealing with any religion, it doesn't matter what religion it is, right? Somebody in there in the chat, name me a single religion that has any value on the Torah. And if you're quoting Judaism, they break Deuteronomy 4:2 because they have the Torah plus the oral Torah plus the whatever's in their crazy Talmud plus whatever in their Kabbalah, all this stuff, right? These commandments are meant to have a good community. These commandments are meant that all of us understand that the disabled are loved, especially in the eyes of our Creator. And that there's absolutely no reason to make the lives of the disabled even worse than what they are by being a part of them to where you would actually harm them. So guys, the value of the Torah is incredible. And understanding that those who have no Torah are very dangerous people. They may be the most likable people. They may be some of your best friends. But if you ever get into business, when you get into bed with people in terms of a business standpoint and they don't have the Torah, these are the people that will destroy you the most. And I'm not saying Torah-based people are perfect, but I would much rather get into a business relationship with Torah-based people, knowing that they know what harm they will be doing if they break the Torah by harming me and my family or a business deal in this certain fashion. Continuing on, another beautiful commandment, right? Do not endanger your neighbor.
Do not hate your brother.
Rebuke your neighbor for his sin.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Do not diverse your cattle.
Do not mingle your seed.
Do not mingle linen and wool.
Do not lie with a pagan woman.
Do not eat of the fruit of the trees for 3 years.
Do not practice sorcery.
Do not round your beard at the corners of your head.
Do not cut yourself from the dead.
Do not get tattoos.
Do not prostitute your daughter.
Do not defile your temple.
Do not consult the medium.
Respect your elders.
Have correct weights and measures.
Do not walk in the manners of the nations.
Keep the feast of first fruits, Shavuot, Omer Count, Pentecost.
Keep the feasts of trumpets, Yom Torah.
Keep the feast of Sukkot, Shemini Atzeret.
If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death.
If you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give him another.
Repay injury for injury.
Honor the Yovel, the Jubilee year.
Confess your sins to Yahuwah and repay who you have trespassed against.
The Torah, the law of being a Nazir.
Wear easy on the four corners of your garments.
The laws of whoever touches the corpse.
Follow Yahuwah's Torah, the law of inheritance.
The law of keeping your oath to Yahuwah.
Do not add or take away from the word.
Okay, let's talk about this, guys, right here. Sunday worship, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, all of these things we're adding to and taking away from the word. We know about Passover, we know about the Day of Trumpets, we know about Sukkot, we know about the appointed times, but we don't know all these foreign man-made things, right? Man-made things. I think I said that wrong. You guys caught the point, right? But when you look, let's look at Christmas, right? And I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I don't like Christmas, so let's beat it down. When you're looking at Christmas, you're looking at a 7-day pagan holiday that came out of sacrificing children, killing children, doing all of this kind of stuff, right? The Christians have taken it up and they have made a holiday out of this, right? Oh, that's the day Jesus was born. No, he wasn't. He was probably born September 11th, probably on the day of blasting, the day of trumpets, somewhere around that day. More than likely. But what we're doing is we're just hanging out with the rest of the pagans. All of this stuff, mistletoe, holly, Christmas trees. You're literally taking Nimrod's phallus and you're dressing it up with gold and silver and putting a crown on it and having your children kneel in front of his phallus. Can you imagine this? This is what we have done today and nobody even cares. But yet you give them little presents in the greatest day that they have, right? We don't even go down the birthday road anymore because it became something so idolizing our own selves that, I grew up in the days of birthdays. You put a little hat on and you got all these, make a wish and blow out this candle. I mean, there's got to be satanic paganism to all of this blowing the candles out. I don't even know the history of birthdays. But it's something that it's not in Torah. It doesn't say not to celebrate birthdays. We give everybody a high five here, a big hug, and we celebrate the day they were born because we thank our Creator that He allowed us the responsibility enough to actually have one of our beautiful kids. And so it's one of these things, as we go through Torah, as we get rid of these man-made traditions and all of this garbage that we have all inherited, I can't get my mom to not take away from the Torah, right? Any Christian that you talk to breaks this commandment over and over and over. And in any conversation you have with any religious people at all, there's commandments. I mean, you could just sit here and check off commandments that are being broken because they don't care about it. And that takes us to the last, not the last, but the next commandment, which is guarding our soul. How in the world will you ever guard your soul when the Creator who created your soul has told you, I want you to walk in this fashion. I want you to live how I want you to live. I want you to be a different set of people. I don't want you to intermix with the people. I want you completely different. But yet we do everything we have. We eat the pig. We eat the lobster. We eat the shrimp. We do all of this garbage. We have no Shabbats. We live how we want to live, and then we think the magical rapture school bus is going to come honking with that mystical guy named Jesus who's sitting there beeping the horn, telling us all, jump in, you pork-eating people. That's not going to happen, right? That's not guarding our soul. Guarding our soul means that we looks like outcasts. We are the outcasts, because when the kingdom comes, we will be the incasts. We will be those who are brought to the kingdom. And when we're all together and we're all doing this exact same thing, and then the outcasts are all the demons that are not in Mount Zion, all the people that are warring against our Messiah, those will be the outcasts. So if you're feeling like alone, if you're feeling like you don't have a home, or you don't have a family, you don't have people that you can celebrate your Passovers with, or any of this, it will come. It will come. Celebrate these on your own. Keep to yourself. Don't worry about what the rest of the world does. Guard your soul, because that will take us to the next one, which is learning to fear Yahuwah, which is to know these commands and observe them. Continue on, gents.
To love Yahuwah with all your heart.
Bind the laws upon your hand and the fronts between your eyes.
Write the laws on your doorposts.
Do not tempt Yahuwah.
Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah.
Do not be afraid of your enemies.
Remember Yahuwah.
Circumcise your heart.
Cleave to Yahuwah.
Swear by his name.
Destroy graven images.
Do not make an idol of Yahuwah as the pagans do to their Elohim.
Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes.
Do not hearken to the words of the false prophets.
Do not make any violence between your eyes for the dead.
You shall not eat any abominable thing. And that takes us into Joanna. She says Doritos have pork in them, brother. I would have no doubt. I would have no doubt these demons that do all this kind of stuff have loaded up all of this food, all of this stuff.
And you need to explain that we don't condone eating Doritos.
Oh,
or
yeah, we don't
anything
eat
like
Doritos.
That was just, you saw a video.
Oh,
on
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It was like,
No, we don't eat it.
We don't want people to eat that.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't be eating any of that stuff. So Boss Clan, we don't eat any chips, any processed stuff. Everything we have is 100% homemade. I can't think of the last time we had a bag of chips or something of that sort. No, we don't. Miss Nicole has been blessed with a gift of chefdom, and she makes everything. In fact, I mean, the business that we have down here is we have a clean food kitchen. We sell frozen food. And so if you want to come to a little place called Freeze and Feast, you can have food. And, you know, we go against this guy named Evil Eric. And Evil Eric has been selling frozen food, and he puts pig in absolutely everything. So every single week we put out a newsletter, and it says we are a clean food kitchen. And we've had some people that just like, oh, well, we love our pork and pig. But for the most part, we are trying to make an example, and you know we're always telling people not to eat that stuff. And so yeah, no, we don't eat Doritos. I did see a video. I saw it with Dr. Eric Berg. He's a guy that's still able to be on YouTube, and he was talking about a guy with insulin resistance, and they were talking about a bag of Doritos and how wildly, essentially satanic, they made this stuff because they made it so addictive that you have to eat one bite at a time, and how they, you know, hooking people up to wires just to make sure that happened. So, yeah, Trident Gum has two. Yeah, grow your own if that's even possible. I know, and that's easy to say, but when it comes down to actually doing this, it's a lot of work. It's definitely a lot of work to do that and to be able to survive on this whole thing. But yeah, everybody should, you know, do the very best they can. Just reading through these comments. Nothing in plastic. Nothing in plastic should be consumed because you're ending up with what they call phthalons, microplastics inside of all of this stuff, right? Anytime that you have food in plastics, you should not be boiling them in the plastics. And you know that's the thing is they've been doing this for years and years and years, and all of us are full of microplastics, and you know they've done stuff that all of us that you know come from back in the 80s and stuff. Our bodies are full of Teflon. You can thank DuPont for all of this because you know they gave us a non-skid, non-stick pans, and now we're all poisoned. Our bodies are all poisoned. We're all super sick. You know, it's like people are just dying over and over and over. So it's a mess. It is really a mess. Fish too cause plastics. Yeah, everything's polluted, right? We, you know, just like the end times says, you know, everything is polluted. Babylon is completely destroyed. You know, North America just keeps getting sicker and sicker and sicker. You know, I was doing a report the other day that in North America, instead of them actually like burning bodies, and I think I've touched on this before, they will actually put like body inside of a, like, it looks like a giant washing machine. They throw a whole bunch of chemicals in it spin that around, and everything but the bones is gone, and then they dump that right down into the water, and it goes into the water treatment plants, and there's like Philadelphia, all these things like Oreo plants, Cheerios plants, all these things, they draw the water out, and they're like, well, we don't know why there's human DNA coming up in all this food. So every bit of the food is completely corrupted in the United States of America. Even these organic people that say they're organics, you have these big companies that get in there, and they've tested like all this organic cereals. They're all full of glyphosate, right? Some of them are even more glyphosated than the rest of this stuff. So really, there is a war on the human beings at this point, and humanity really has got to get with it real quick, or it's going to be over. So, yeah, let's continue on. Gentlemen, anyone know where we're at?
You shall not eat an abominable thing.
You shall give to a stranger of clean food that dies of itself, but you shall not eat of it.
Give
Yeah.
tithe of your increase of seed year by year.
Laws of the end of the 7-year release.
Do not borrow from the nations.
Do not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from the poor.
Guard among one of Yahuwah's calendar.
3 times a year all males shall appear before Yahuwah.
You shall make judges and officers in all your gates.
Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar.
There must be 2 or 3 witnesses.
Hearken unto the Nevi, the prophet Yahuwah has chosen.
The prophetess of Deuteronomy.
Do not remove your neighbor's property line.
How to deal with a false witness among Torah keepers.
The first child get double portions.
If your brother's cattle or clothes are lost and you find them, you must return them.
A woman should not wear what pertains to a man, nor a man wear what pertains to a woman.
If you find a bird's nest with the mother and the babies or eggs, take the babies and not the mother.
If you build a new house with a flat roof that is able to be lived on, you must put a railing around it.
Do not be a prostitute.
Do not use dirty money.
The law of divorce.
Do not take a person's millstone for a pledge.
If you lend to your brother, do not enter his house to get your payment. He must bring it to you. Return his clothing before sunset if that was his pledge.
Do not pray the hired servant that is poor and needy.
Every man shall be put to death for his own sin.
Do not go back for the forgotten sheep in the field. Leave it for the stranger, fatherless, and widow.
Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out grain.
If your brother dies and has no child, you shall take his wife and name the firstborn after your brother.
At the end of 7 years, you are to read the Torah at the Feast of Sukkot, Feast of Tabernacles.
All right, so beautiful family. This is why it's a lot of fun hanging out with you guys, right? I call it getting out in the weeds a little bit, but I think it's important that the people of Yah, the remnant, that we try to educate ourselves as much as possible, because we are living in just such a world of deception and sickness and madness, and so just trying to stay alive is an issue. Okay.
Yahuwah, remove our stony heart, says, why do you give the unclean to the stranger? It's the clean that dies of itself.
Yeah, the cling that dies of it. Yeah, it's the cling that dies of itself is what you give to the stranger, and it's we have a Torah command that we're not supposed to. If something has been ripped to shreds or something of the sort, that we don't eat it. Right? Our Creator does not want us to get contaminated, something of the sort. But those who are strangers are more than likely not Torah keepers, right? They don't give a darn. And in the event they are hungry, or the event of something of the sort, and you have something that you are not allowed to eat, then we do have a commandment that they can eat of that. And there's back when we were watching back in the day Duck Dynasty, those guys are crazy, right? Those guys come out of Louisiana, and they will literally stop on the side of the road, grab something that's been dead, and they will fry that thing up, right? They eat all of this crazy, nasty food that's been dead for a very, very long time. And we have commandments. We're not to be part of any of this kind of stuff. And Duck Dynasty was always one of these things that was like, people are like, these are some God-fearing, loving people, but they are commandment breakers, right? They are Satanists just like everyone else, even though they're really nice, I'm sure, people. Unfortunately, they are Satanists.
Another question. Do we read the entire Torah during Sukkot?
I don't know. I mean, it's possible that you could do such a thing. One thing that you could possibly do is read the Torah commands like we're reading right here, right? In the event, Sukkot is a 7-day event here. It's one of these things that if you were really having the 7-day party where it's like sun up to sundown and everybody is like hanging out, you could very well probably get through that, have a whole bunch of different readers and do all this kind of stuff. I mean, that's part of the gig is once a year you're supposed to read the Torah through. So that's what it would be.
Do.
Yeah, and Jerry says we do. Yeah, so I'm sure there's a lot of people that do. If you are able to, yeah, absolutely. All right. Here we are. I think it's Book of Deuteronomy. That could be as well. Yeah, I mean, Deuteronomy is absolutely a recap of everything good and holy in there. Okay, let us get into this. Jade, will you please give us a breakdown of what has happened through to now to the numbers 35 where we're at?
So we have made out of Egypt. We made it to a lot of lands, a lot of trials and tribulations. People sinning against Yahuwah, breaking his commands, complaining, him killing them, cursing the people, setting them on fire, and there's a lot of problems that happened in the camp. But in the last chapter, they're getting really close to entering the land. Yahuwah spoke to Moses and told him where to give their inheritance to, how to break the land up, what their rewards will be. So they are getting what they're supposed to get if they obey his commands, and they are going to inherit it. They got to wipe out the nations. And we learn later that they actually don't obey the commands, but Yahuwah says, do not defile the land. He goes, I'm going to do with you, do what I say, do not profane it, and do not shed blood on land. He gives them commands about the land they're about to inherit, so they are getting very close to entering into the promised land.
Okay, so here we are. Numbers 35. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe in the desert plains of Moab by the Yarden of Jericho, saying, command the children of Israel that they shall give the Lewites cities to dwell in from the inheritance of their possession. Also give the Lewites open land around the cities. And they shall have the cities to dwell in, and their open land for their cattle and for their herds and for all their livestock. And the open land of the cities which you give the Lewites are from the wall of the city outward 1,000 amma all around. And you shall measure outside the city on the east side 2,000 amma, and on the south side 2,000 amma, and on the west side 2,000 amma, and on the north side 2,000 amma, and the city in the middle. This is to them the open land for the cities. All right, so why are the Levites, why are they positioned where they're positioned?
Because they don't get an inheritance. They don't actually get a portion of the land. Their inheritance is serving Yahuwah. So Yahuwah gives them a little area inside of each land. Like, you're going to give this to the Levites, but it's not really their land. It goes to the tribe that they're dwelling with. So everywhere they go, they have a little spot so that the people come to them for their sacrifices or their forgiveness of sin, stuff like that.
Right, and they were positioned so that all of these tribes had a group of priests that were around them so that they could take care of the people as an intermediary between them, the people, and our Creator. And the cities which you give to the Lewites are the 6 cities of refuge, which you give to him who killed someone to flee to. And to these you add 42 cities. Now, the cities of refuge are really, really cool. I think with this family, we've discussed these in depth quite a bit. We'll definitely do a little discussion into this. All of the cities which you give to the Lewites are 48. These are with their open land. And the cities which you give from the possession of the children of Israel, from the larger you give many, from the smaller you give few. Each one gives some of its cities to the Lewites in proportion to the inheritance that it inherits. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Israel and say to them, when you pass over the Yarden into the land of Canaan, then you shall choose cities to be cities of refuge for you, that the one who accidentally killed someone shall flee there. And they shall be cities of refuge for you from the revenger. And the one who killed someone is not to die until he stands before the congregation in right ruling. Okay, so we have some cities, and these cities are out in the middle of nowhere. The cities are protected cities, and these cities are different than the rest of the cities. These are for the people that accidentally whack somebody without meaning to do it. And there's a lot of things, right? You could be sitting there with your horses, and you could be sitting there and looking behind you, and all of a sudden you like rod your horse a little bit, and he takes off and mows over a child, mows over a dad, mows over a family, something of the sort. You could be sitting there, chopping down a tree, and the head of your axe comes off, cracks Joab in the head, and Joab is dead. Now, you're going to have Joab's brothers, cousins, friends, family, and everybody's going to go, hey, you just killed Joab. You got to die. So, what do? Well, we put them in the cities. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to the children of Israel and say to them, when you pass over the Yarden into the land of Canaan, then you shall choose the cities to be cities of refuge for you, that the one who accidentally killed someone shall flee there. Did I already go through this?
Yeah.
Did it go back? Where did it just like scroll up?
You're on 12 now.
Okay.
Or no, you're on 13.
Yeah, 13. I don't know what happened. And of the cities which you give, 6 are to be cities of refuge. Give 3 cities beyond the Yarden, and give 3 cities in the land of Canaan as cities of refuge. These 6 cities are for refuge for the children of Israel, and for the sojourner, and for the settler in their midst, for anyone who accidentally kills someone to flee there. But if he has smitten him with an instrument of iron, so that he dies, he is a murderer. The murderer shall certainly be put to death. Now, this is what the beauty is of the Torah, right? We in Boss Clan minister to those in the prison system constantly. All of these people with life sentences, and you know, I would rather be put to death with a pile of rocks than spend 45 years in a prison system that is so corrupted, so trashed, so defiled, so diluted of any kind of kodesha that there is. That's just me. I got brothers and sisters on death row who have been there for 27, 28 years. They fight for their life. They fight that all they're trying to do is trying to get a stay of execution so that they don't get hooked up to the table and get injected. They just the other day, they had a firing squad, a dude that had been there for a long time, right? These are not the ways of Yah. The entire prison system, especially in North America, is not a Torah-based system, which is why that we are always tending the fields of the prison system, and which is why it has been incredible. I did an interview with this brother just this week. His name is Justin Soto. And 14 years ago, he and a bunch of friends, they were all high on meth, decided that it was going to be a good idea to kill this kid. And they shot him in the back of the head, dragged him into the bathtub, stuck him in a suitcase. And when I met this kid about 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, this kid was thugged out. Justin Soto was, by definition, he said he was a pagan. And I looked him up because I saw this interview on YouTube. And I'm like, I was extremely fascinated with this whole crime and whatever story that they were having. So I went and chased him down. And he was one of the very first people that I ever got the big blue scriptures into. But the problem was, he was in solitary confinement because he had almost killed another dude in prison during this time. So I had to wait like 8 months before this cat ever got his big blue. Now, the entire time that he was in solitary, he and I were writing back and forth. I was telling him commands. I was telling him about Yahuwah. And he was a self-proclaimed pagan. Now, if you listen to the last interview that we do on Behind the Bars podcast, he's talking about Yahuwah. He got hooked into this Hebrew roots group of people inside of it. He went from straight up gang banging, thug killing murderer who has killed a lot of people straight to a warrior for Yahuwah. It takes me to Reuben Reed Jr. He was a Crip. He was a gang-banging Crip. He was an assassin inside this group of people. This guy is a big 6'4", just a monstrous dude. When I found him in prison, he didn't know who Yah was. I started working with him, and now he is soldier for the kingdom. These guys are the thugs. These guys are the people that have repented. They now know our Elohim Most High. And if the Torah was in every avenue of our lives and in all of these governments, if somebody murders somebody, we would just take them outside the city gates and deal with them. So this is why the Torah is always good, and it's why we should always be under it. And those who are not under it are very, very foolish. 17. And if he has smitten him with a stone in the hand by which one could die, and he dies, he's a murderer. The murderer shall certainly be put to death. Or if he has smitten him with a wooden instrument that could kill, and he dies, he's a murderer. The murderer shall certainly be put to death. The revenger of blood himself puts the murderer to death. When he meets him, he puts him to death. Tough stuff, right? There is, the Torah isn't always something that is comfortable, right? Sometimes in things like this, when we hear that the revenger of blood himself is able to put the murderer to death, you're going to have the guy that killed Joab that you know, he's got his brother, you know, Yaakov after him. And Yaakov has the right to make blood for a blood, an eye for an eye. Very, very interesting things, right? Very, very important stuff that we have to understand. 20. And if he thrusts him through in hatred, or throws at him while lying in wait so that he dies, or in enmity he strikes him with his hand so that he dies, the one who smote him shall certainly be put to death, for he is a murderer. The revenger of blood puts the murderer to death when he meets him. Now, why is it important, gentlemen, around this table, that the revenger of blood is the one who executes his judgment?
The right ruling. I mean, he's the one with the anger and
What happens if somebody killed your brother? What feelings are you going to have probably the rest of your life?
Revenge, anger.
There's a lot of things that happen, right? If you are able to avenge the unjust murder of a family member, of somebody like this, right? If you are the one who thinks that you want to be the revenger of blood, and I don't think that even a revenger of blood, it's not a Kodesh thing, right? It's not something that not everybody's going to want to be a revenger of blood. It's going to be a certain person. You're probably going to have feelings the rest of your life, right? You may have thought that maybe I should have forgiven this guy. Maybe it isn't what it was. But this is the justice of the Torah-based system that we are supposed to live under. Is it 20 I'm on, guys?
No, you're on 22.
22. All right. But if he pushes him suddenly without enmity, or throws at him without lying in wait, or uses a stone by which a man could die, throwing it at him without seeing him, so that he dies while he was not his enemy or seeking his harm, then the congregation shall judge between him who killed someone and the revenger of blood, according to these right rulings. So the Torah is a justice system, right? Everything is beset at the beset of multiple witnesses, right? This is where the witness system comes into play, and the corruption that is in the United States justice system is simply just not justice. It's a sickness that is in there. You don't get justice, right? You get all these paid off people and everybody trying to push their cases, push their agendas, and push their next promotions. But if you accidentally jack somebody up by throwing a stone, you toss this big stone into a bush, and you didn't know he was there, it cracks him in the skull and he dies, you're harmless. The problem is, you're still going to have Joab's cousin that's coming after you, right? This guy's like, this can't be. He absolutely killed him. Somebody who doesn't do that, at that point, where would you go, right? You would go to a city of refuge. You would go to where the Levites are going to protect you, and you'll live your life there. Continuing on. 25. And the congregation shall rescue the one who killed someone from the hand of the revenger of blood, and the congregation shall return him to the city of refuge where he had fled. And he shall remain there until the death of the Kohen Hagdadal, who was anointed with the Kodesh oil. Now, there's a question earlier about this particular part, that why would he be waited there until the Kohen and Hagdadal? Why would he not leave until that? So more than likely, this guy, the Kohen Hagdadal, is going to live a very long time, right? This guy is he's going to die at his post when he's doing this. So you're talking probably 60, 70 years. By the time this guy dies, more than likely the Revenger of Blood has moved on. You would hope. If not, the Revenger of Blood's going to be like 85 years old, and he's going to have to roll his wheelchair in there and clap you as well. It's not going to be the same as the young guy that, is trying to avenge Joab's death. Time, right? As they say, time heals all, and this is what this was. It was a timeline and a process to get these guys to safety, so they're not sitting there looking over their shoulder all the time, and then more murders being committed by Joab's cousin, who didn't know if you actually did it or not, but he thought you did, and so he wanted to kill.
I think it was like a protection. Like
Yeah.
they couldn't touch him.
Well, yeah, that's what it is. I mean, that's
what I was trying to explain a little bit.
Okay, yeah, I mean, the city of refuge is a protection, right?
But no, that's why he had he's still there with the Kohen.
He's there until the Kohen dies.
Because it's like a protection for him.
Right. So you stay there to the lifespan of the Kohen dies, which you're probably thinking is going to be 50, 60 years, right? Everything in the world will have changed by the time this guy dies, and you can leave the city, right? But until then, the Revenger blood isn't to come in there. The people, the congregation is supposed to protect the one who was innocent, who accidentally did the killing. 26. But the one who killed someone at any time goes outside the limits of the city of refuge where he fled, and the Revenger of blood finds him outside the limits of the city of refuge, and the Revenger of blood kills him who killed someone, he is not guilty of blood, because he should have remained in his city of refuge until the death of the Kohen Hagdadal. But after the death of the Kohen Hagdadal, he who killed someone is to return to the land of his possession. And again, a lot of this is about time. This is about, you're hoping that Kohen Hagdal doesn't die a year later after this because Joab's cousin is coming after you. And these shall be for a law of right ruling to you throughout your generations and all your dwellings. Whoever kills someone has to be put to death as a murderer by the mouth of witnesses. But one witness does not bear witness against someone to die. And take ransom for the life of a murderer who is guilty of death, but he shall certainly be put to death. Guys, this is a tough stuff, right? If you kill somebody, if you kill a child of the Most High, whether they be a Torah keeper or not, and you are living in the land and you are under the Torah, this is what it is. This is how it goes down. And take no ransom for him who has fled to his city of refuge to return to dwell in the land before the death of the Kohen. And do not profane the land where you are, for the blood profanes the land, and the land is not pardoned for the blood that is shed on it, except by the blood of him who shed it. And do not defile the land which you inhabit, in the midst of which I dwell, for I, Yahuwah, am dwelling in the midst of the children of Yisrael. Okay, all right, let us go into this. Where are we at, John, on this?
Luke 17.
Luke 17. All right, so, guys, hopefully that makes sense to all of you guys out there. Sometimes the Torah is a little bloody, right? Sometimes the Torah is a little just. Sometimes it's stuff that a lot of us would rather turn our eyes away from. A lot of us probably wouldn't want to be the revenger of blood, but there's definitely going to be those that are wanting justice and those that would do more evil if they didn't get the justice. And in a Torah-based land, right? All the Torah-based land, right? If we lived in a Torah-based land today, you would take everybody in the pharmacy and you'd probably take most of the doctors today and they'd go outside the city gates and you'd kill them. Right? All these people that are into sorcery, all these people that are into this evil Western medicine would probably be gone based upon the deaths of people that they have caused. Same for murders, same for if you had an abortion, right? If you were able to kill your kid, if you offered it up to Moloch, that's a murder. You would have to have a life for a life. That's just how the Torah is. And when you talk to people outside, the people in the Christian religion, they're like, oh, your God is an angry God. Oh, he wants to kill everybody and do all this kind of stuff. That's not it, right? There has to be some sort of punishment for those that murder, or else everybody's going to murder. Look at the United States of America. Look at the murder rate. Look at everybody killing everybody, right? How many towns is there in the States that don't end up with a murder? I mean, I'm sure the small towns end up with a murder, but I mean, look at Chicago, look at Baltimore, look at Cleveland, look at all these places, right? Everybody killing everybody. And, it's like the justice system doesn't do that, right? Putting somebody on death row for 50 years as they go through the law system over and over and over and over doesn't thwart what the Torah is there to thwart. And it's there to make a land cling. It's there that our Creator is able to talk to his people, to be part of his people, and that we don't corrupt the land where our Creator is dwelling at with us. Okay, Luke 17. Let's go, Jade. What do we got for the breakdown of this?
So Yehoshua is talking about parables in the last chapter, talking about parables and basically what our eternal life is, what the eternal fire is like, and what heaven will be like, what our peace will be like, and basically if we don't follow the commands, if we don't do good, then what our life will be like. And talks about this guy named Lazarus who was sick. This rich man wouldn't help him. The rich man decided to keep out to himself, refused to help at all, right? And in the Torah, was to love our neighbor. The rich man would not love his neighbor, so he ended up in eternal fire. And Yehoshua explains about what it's like. And he's, again, always dealing with the Pharisees and they always want to hurt him. But he talks about repentance and how basically the people had Moses and the prophets, but they wouldn't listen to them either. And Yehoshua is better than all of them, so they won't still listen.
Yeah, and I want to touch on Jerry. Justice is swift under the kingdom and prevents further sin in the camp. That's exactly right. And then Sister Barb, wise old Sister Barb, and not old, wise, mature Sister Barb and her clan of people says purges the evil from them. That's what this was all about. And the land is so defiled. No wonder there are so many fires. It's why it's so corrupted, right? The North America, I think, has the highest abortion rates of any country out there. It is commercialized, it is sold off. You have Planned Parenthood, you have all these eugenists, it's just, it's not even a slow kill anymore, guys. I mean, it used to be a slow kill when people are dying of cancer and stuff. Now we got turbo cancers ravaging the world. You have all of this kind of stuff. It's jacked. And then Jerry says, because the kingdom coming will be under Torah. Absolutely. That's what our kingdom, guys. When Mount Zion comes, when Messiah Yahushua comes, we're going to be keeping the Shabbat, except there's going to be around a giant set of tables, right? We're going to have people from all these generations that have served our Creator, have served His Son, that are there exasperated with the Torah, loving all the appointed times, right? We'll have a Sukkot. We're going to have Passover. We're going to be keeping all of these same commands. These commands that we are instructed to do today are a rehearsal for the kingdom to come, right? You can't just wait for that magical school bus, rapture bus, and think that you don't know any of these Torah commands, right? When you have thrown and flushed the Torah down the throne, that's where you're going to be flushed down the throne as well. It's not, depart from me, you who work lawlessness, is the flushing sound of the commode as you are being flushed into the hands of the devils and demons forever and ever. Yep. Yep. Sister Barb says, because they teach us a simple 10-minute procedure, which is deception, they lie for money. Yeah, they lie for money. Abortions and this murder is so rich. You know, that's the same thing about organ donations. You know, if you guys have your name on an organ donation card in the United States of America, they will hack you up when you're still alive. It has come out over and over and over that they were like, wow, this guy's clinically dead. Quick, take him to the chopping block. And because they don't want to take the organs and jack them up, there's no medicines, there's no antiseptic or anesthesia that is in you, right? They'll rip your eyeball out with you still alive. They will start sawing right into your chest, and you're not dead. People have come out of this. People have fought for this. It's over $6 million is what one human corpse is worth, from the eyeballs to the lungs to the tissues to all of this stuff that they use in their medical things. The medical establishment has gone mad. It has really, really gone mad. I cannot wait for the kingdom to come. I cannot wait for Messiah Yahushua to deal with these demons, because it's out of control, folks. All right, here we are. Luke 17, sorry. And he said to the Talmudim, it is inevitable that stumbling blocks should come, but woe to him through whom they come. Okay, this is a big thing, right? You know, I don't want to say that Brother Shaul is a stumbling block, but the first answer all these Christians said is that Paul said. That's it, right? Paul said this. Paul said this. Yeah, Paul said a lot of stuff. Paul said a letter to a person that wasn't you at a time that wasn't you in a response to a letter you didn't write. You weren't part of this assembly that was writing Paul. You have no idea what the very first letter was that Paul is even replying to. But yet you have the Creed of Nicene, you have the Catholic Church, you have the entire system that added all these books of Paul. And so all of a sudden, the books of Paul, for those who are not Torah keepers, become a stumbling block. When you are sitting there thinking that Paul is your Elohim instead of Elohim Most High, that is a problem. 2, it would be better for him if a millstone is put around his neck and he were thrown into the sea, than that he should cause one of these little ones to stumble. So we go on from stumbling blocks to exactly defining what it's talking about. And we're talking about hurting the youngsters of the world in every way, shape, and form. And guys, the world is run by sick pedophiles. If you guys haven't figured this out right now, pedophilia it's something that used to be a taboo thing for everybody, and it should be. It should be something that is utterly taken outside the city. Pick up the rocks, folks. Oh, you molested a child? Yeah, come out here. Pick up the rocks, everyone. You're dead. We're gonna kill you now, right? Unfortunately, they're making it part of the world, part of the society. All these sick people with the tiny eye, it's just become something. And you see this sick, the Epstein thing is all a psyop. It's all a hoax. You're never ever going to know. It's the powers that be that are laughing at all the slaves that are like, well, we know there's a list out there, but yet you have an antichrist candidate, Donald J. Trump, that is like, oh, there's nothing to see here, folks. Don't worry about it. Homeboy serving pizzas to all the cops in D.C. It's all a giant sick game. It is all a psyop. And guys, we are at the end of times. If this is not the end of times, I can't imagine the darkness that is coming. 3, take heed to yourselves If your brother sins against you, rebuke him. And if he repents, forgive him. Two different things right here, right? This is the same thing that we have in Torah, right? This is not a new commandment. This is we are to rebuke our neighbor for their sins, right? When you see your neighbor over there with a little 11-year-old girl that is not his, and you're like, there's something funny going on here, right? You got to go deal with it, right? That's part of your job, is to go deal with that. Rebuke him, deal with whatever it takes to make that happen. If he repents, well, we forgive him. And if he sins against you 7 times in a day, and 7 times in a day comes back to you saying, I repent, you shall forgive him. This is a lot of hard, right? A lot of us have grown up in abusive relationships. A lot of us were sexually abused, physically abused. A lot of us have a lot of darkness and a lot of corruption in our lives because of how we were taken care of as kids. This is our Messiah. What our Messiah is doing is he is giving us the people that need, if we want to be a follower of Mashiach, this is how we have to align our lives. We have to let these people repent. These people break our hearts time and time and time again. You're forgiving them. But what you don't have to do is you don't have to let them back in your life, right? You don't have to be a whipping boy for this. If you have that stepdad that molested you and did this and he comes to you and repents, okay, you forgive him. But do you let him come in and hang out with your kids? Probably not. Probably not the good idea, right? That's what you would not do. You're not setting yourself up for more sins to come against you, right? Or sins that happen to your kids, right? We have to protect our kids. We have to protect our family. If they want to repent, okay, we have to forgive them. But we do not have to become a part of their darkness. 5, and the emissaries said to the Adon, give us more belief. And the Adon said, if you have belief as a mustard seed, you would say to this mulberry tree, be pulled up by the roots and be planted by the sea, and it would obey you. But who of you, having a servant plowing or shepherding, would say to him, when he has come in from the field, come immediately and sit down to eat? But would he rather not say to him, prepare somewhat for my supper, and gird yourself and serve me while I eat and drink, and afterward you shall eat and drink? Would he thank that servant because he did what he was commanded? I think not. So also you, when you have done all that you were commanded, say, we are unworthy servants. We have done what was our duty to do. Now, this is something to understand, is that we have been given the Torah. This is what we have been given as commanded, right? Because we do the Torah doesn't give us a pat on the back. It doesn't say, oh, you know what? We are better than anyone else. Because those of us who know the Torah know that we fall from the Torah, and we know that's what it is. There's a thing about the Torah, and when you know the Torah, you fall under it. You fall under it, and those of us who are under the Torah, we're lesser than those who are not, right? Because we know that we fall from the Torah, and we have to do what the Torah says, right? We're all unworthy servants, right? None of us have what it takes to say that, yeah, we deserve salvation. We deserve all of this, right? Salvation comes with fear and trembling. It comes with repentance. It comes with keeping our hearts clean, our minds clean, our hands clean, and keeping our temple as clean as we can possibly keep it in this day and age, that it's absolutely a world of corrupting our temple. And it came to be, as he went to Jerusalem, that he passed through the midst of Shomron and Galilee. And he was entering into a certain village. He was met by 10 leprous men who stood at a distance. And they lifted up their voices, saying, Yahushua, Adonai, have compassion on us. And having seen, he said to them, go, show yourselves to the Kohanim. And it came to be that as they were going, they were cleansed. Okay, now the modern day Christian religion will have you say that there are no commandments. That, oh, Jesus came and Jesus, he fulfilled the commandments so that we don't have to do any of these. But yet, he just gave the lepers a command from the Torah. Show yourselves to the priest. There's a law of health. That is one of the laws that you could expand up onto. And one of the laws is about leprosy. And it's about when you are sick, when your house ends up with leprosy, when there is uncleanness in this, if you have the blessings and the baruka that you are able to be cleansed from leprosy, then you absolutely need to go before the priest. And you need to have them inspect you, look at you, and you would offer up a sacrifice. So our Messiah didn't say the laws have been fulfilled, have a good day. He said, go show yourselves to the priests. Continued on. And one of them, when he saw that he was healed, returned, praising Elohim with a loud voice, and he fell down upon his face at his feet, giving thanks to him. And he was a Shomanite. He wasn't even of the Yahudim, guys. This guy was not, this was a outsider that was not part of the straight Yahudi folks. And Yahushua answering said, were there not 10 cleansed? But where are the 9? Was no one found to return to give praise to Elohim except this foreigner? And he said to him, rise, go your way. Your belief has made you well. Now, we don't know what happened to the other 9. We don't know if they were all cleansed up and they went to the priest and they're like, get out, you lepers. Or if it was just this one having a little bit of thanks. But every single day that you wake up and you have your breath and that you take an understanding that you have survived the night is another day to praise our Elohim. We have not been, nothing that we do gives us another day alive except our Creator has allowed us to live this. Every single day is a baraka. Every single day we need to baruch, we need to take the blessings, we need to thank our Creator for his allowing our heart to beat one more day. Are we praising our Elohim every single day? Are we thanking him that we're still alive, that we still have a little milk in the fridge, that we have a little bit of water here, that we have a little bit of clean food left, right? Are we thanking him for every last breath that we have? Are we thanking him our kids are still alive? Are we thanking him that we still have a vehicle that runs? And if you don't have a vehicle to run, do we still have legs that we can walk, right? There's something to thank our Creator for in everything that we do. 20. And having been asked by the Pharisees, when the reign of Elohim would come, he answered them and said, the reign of Elohim does not come with intent watching, nor shall they say, look here or look there. For look, the reign of Elohim is in your midst. Right? You have Messiah Yahushua right here. You have the president, the commissioner, the great leader of the kingdom to come right before you. And when Messiah Yahushua died and we got rid of essentially the Levitical priesthood, we now have the ability for the reign of Elohim to be in our temples, to be in our hearts, in our minds, in our souls. And so when you're looking for the reign of Elohim coming, we need to create the reign of Elohim right here first. We need to be a Torah-keeping, Torah-observant, Yah-loving, Messiah Yahushua observing group of people, right? Look here, look there. Well, the kingdom is the people that are serving our Elohim. Right? It is amongst us, the people around this table, the ecclesia that is, you guys, all the family out there that's sitting and listening, right? We're part of the reign of Elohim. We don't need to wait for something to come. We're all looking forward to it. But when, it's something that comes from the way that we live and that we breathe and that we operate is how it happens. And the Ruach HaKodesh embeds himself inside of all of us. 22. And he said to the Talmidim, days shall come when you shall long to see one of the days of the Ben of Edom, but you shall not see it. And they shall say to you, look here, or look there. Do not go after them nor follow. For as the lightning that flashes out of one part under the Shamayim shines to the other part under the Shamayim, so also the Ben of Adam shall be in his day. But first, he has to suffer much and be rejected by this generation. And, he's prophesying his own death, right? He's prophesying what is going to be happening to him. And a lot of his disciples, a lot of his Talmidim did not understand what Messiah Yahushua said. Even till the very bitter end, these guys did not get that he was going to be given up. They thought Messiah Yahushua was coming to free them from the Romans, that this was the new son of David. This was the new generation of freeing themselves and to live on this earth the way it is and to make it happen. But they just didn't understand. 26. And as it came to be in the days of Noach, so also shall it be in the days of the Ben of Adam. They were eating, they were drinking, they were marrying, they were given in marriage until the day that Noach went into the ark and the flood came and destroyed them all. Now, this is very interesting, right? Because we know the days of Noach. What were the days of Noach like, gents?
Giants, sin, corruption, everything was completely corrupted. It was a very bad time.
Yeah, you had 3 generations of giants. You had the Watchers, and you had the Nephilim, and Eliab. and every single one of them were a little bit bigger until you could make the pyramids with Tinker Toys, like a little Rector set. Like, it was just a big thing, right? They were defiling the animals, they were eating the men. And now we have a world where the human DNA has been completely corrupted, right? They look at the double helix, and some people say it's a triple helix now, right? You look at all the babies being born, and they all have blood clots coming out of them, right? We have people, somebody told me the other day, a prisoner that called me from Arizona, he told me his 8-year-old niece had a stroke. Imagine that. So here we are, the bloodlines of the human beings are all dying off, and here we are, just like the days of Noah, and great evil is coming. And there's something you can't say on these platforms, and I'm not going to, but we don't know, because of this decade, we don't know what's going to happen a couple generations from now. We know that birth rates are falling. We know that people aren't living very long. We know there's all sorts of corruption, but we don't know what's going to be born in a couple of generations. It's always something to think about. Continuing on. And so here we have all these people, right? Everybody's like, oh, let's make America great again. Let's make America healthy again. And you have all of these demons that are coming forward as saviors. Donald J. Trump is the savior of Israel and North America. And he's bringing in the AI interface, right? Everybody has no idea that they're about to be governed by AI interface. Nobody knows this, right? The New World Order is being deployed day after day after day right before our eyes, and people are cheering it on. People are just cheering it on. It's the craziest thing to ever see. So I think we're here, guys. I don't think it's going to be a lot of time. Read your Torah, read your scriptures, pray, seek Yah. There's no better time in the world right now than it is to seek our Creator. 28. And likewise, as it came to be in the days of Lot, they were eating, they were drinking, they were buying, they were selling, they were planting, and they were building. But on the day Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and sulfur from the Shamayim and destroyed it all. It shall be the same in the day of the bin. In the day the bin of Adam is revealed, right? He's going to come like a thief in the night. Do you have your oil? Do you have your lamps trimmed? Are you ready to rock and roll with the Son of the Most High? Guys, it's going to be coming. It is going to be coming. There will not be any flesh left if it is not happening in the next decade or so. I'm just saying, it's going to get down. There's going to be a lot of parking spaces left if something doesn't happen soon. 31. In that day, he who shall be on the housetop and his goods in the house, let him not come down to take them away. And likewise, the one who is in the field, let him not turn back. Remember the wife of Lot. Whoever seeks to save his life shall lose it, and whoever loses his life shall preserve it. Okay? Now, there's a lot of future prophecy, and there was a lot of current prophecy, because a lot of the stuff Messiah Yahushua has said actually happened in AD 70. A lot of the people were like, well, this is going to be the end times. Well, a lot of this happened when Jerusalem was surrounded and everybody was starved off, and they were flaying their kids and eating their kids. And if you would have gone back into your house when you saw all these signs, you would have been very much destroyed, right? They defiled the temple back in that day. They sacrificed pigs back in the day. They did all of this stuff that people think is like a current prophecy. And, a lot of it, I don't think is. A lot of people are like, well, we need the third temple in Israel. Again, the people of Israel aren't the children of the Most High. I mean, if they do make it a third temple, I don't think it's going to be exactly what people think. 32. Remember the wife of Lot. Whoever seeks to save his life shall lose it, and whoever loses his life shall preserve it. I say to you, in that night there shall be two in one bed. The one shall be taken, and the other shall be left. And you look at the corrupted King James Version, and there's like two men in one bed, right? It says, there's two men in one bed. You're like, all right, Freemasonic King, what are you talking about? Two shall be grinding together. The one shall be taken, and the other shall be left. Two shall be in the field. The one shall be taken, and the other shall be left. And they answering said to him, Where, Adonai? And he said to them, Where the body is, there also the vultures shall be gathered. All right, brothers and sisters, this was I guess we hit it about an hour and a half. This was a great reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed it. Jade, will you please bless our brothers and sisters?
Yahuwah barak you and guard you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and show favor to you. Yahuwah lift his face upon you and give you peace.
All right, just scanning through you guys here in the chat. All right. I love you guys. All right, guys. Much love to everybody out there. We're gonna wrap this up.
Quick question.
Yep. What you got?
If Bigfoot is a human hybrid, I've seen some half hare, human half. Is it true? How did they survive the flood?
I've never seen a Bigfoot before, so I don't know what there is. Honestly, on this, guys, I really don't know. That's one of these things. We don't know what there is. When you look at the giants that survived the flood, you know that the sons of Ham were the giant generations. That's what the genealogy. And when you read the Apocrypha, Noah wasn't too happy with the wife of Ham. And so that's where the giant genealogy came from. You never know. You have all these psychopaths. You have Jekyll's Island. You have all these crazy doctors and all these people. I mean, they've been cloning and zoning and drugging and splitting atoms and doing all this crazy stuff. You have no idea what it is. Rely on our Creator. All praise to our Messiah, and we love you all, guys.
Walking steady on this road you made. Every step guided by your ways. When I listen close, I understand all your truth held in your perfect plan. Rising higher than before, lifting praise from deep in my core. Lifting praise, Yahuwah, your presence sets me free. Dancing wild 'cause you're all I need. My heart alive with pure delight as I move within your light. Dancing, praising, celebrating. Your ways are true and I'm not waiting to lift my hands to you. In the morning when I rise to pray, in the evening as I end each day, every word you speak becomes my song, teaching me where I belong. Rising higher than before, your truth is what I'm living for. Living for Yahuwah, your presence sets me free. Dancing wild 'cause you're